Hello everyone, James here and welcome to Shard TCG, and today we're going to be taking a look at the amphibians. So from set 1 we have 6 amphibian cards but only 3 amphibians, if that makes sense. That is because all of our amphibians have 2 forms. We have the baby form and the adult form. So today we're starting off with something hot, something spicy. We're taking a look at the salamander larva. So the salamander larva there, as you can see, isn't quite fully developed there, hasn't quite got his back legs going yet. He has the creature title Metamorph, which is what we'll be seeing. It's a bit of a common theme with amphibians. So Metamorph allows this creature to change form essentially into its adult form. So what people like to do obviously is get out the salamander larva. You use this effect, smack summon. When this creature is summoned, all opponents are dealt 1 direct damage of this creature's elements. So that's a nice little bonus effect. You know, you summon this creature to the field, you can inflict 1 damage to your opponent, and then you can sleep this creature to change it into its adult form. And here it is, the adult salamander, all grown up from its salamander larvae form. It's a 2-shard larva amphibian. It has melting spew, which is an attack with the dissolve action effect. That dissolve action effect allows you to bypass blocks and also strip creatures of shields, which is quite handy. It has a nice chunky 5 health, which is great for a 2-shard creature, and then a nice block as well. Its effect Elemental Harness is definitely more elemental based than amphibian based. Basically means if you can get a couple of lava creatures either side of this creature, it is going to power it up, you know. It feels the heat and it gets charged up by elements of the same likeness around it. But moving on from the salamander larva, we're going to take a look at the Aglabemu tadpole here. Now, the Aglabemu tadpole has the effect Sprogbane. When this creature is summoned, target a creature. Inflict +1 wound to the target creature. So a bit similar to Smack Summon, except that it's putting wounds on the field rather than attacking directly. The other similarity you may have noticed is it also has the Metamorph title, which, like I say, is a common theme with the amphibians. So with the Metamorph title, the Aglabemu tadpole can transform itself into the Aglabemu. Now the Aglabemu is a 2-shard poison amphibian. Look at its poison drool. I think that's a lovely little bit of art there. I think it's the one bit I'm most impressed with is the poison drool. You know, I feel like it came out so nicely, and I hope everybody appreciates it as much as I do. And now, once the Aglabemu is at its full age, as its adult, it has the poison tongue, which has an attack with wounding. It has nice 4 health. And then it also has the Shrouded Toxins, which is a counter. Now the counter doesn't have wounding, it's nothing special about that. It's mostly about its attack, so you really want to use this as a good attacker. Now, its effect Lethal Infection. When this creature damages a wounded creature, inflict +1 wound to the wounded creature. So as long as you can have at least 1 wound out there, the Aglabemu, with its wounding attack, can essentially inflict 2 wounds per turn. And also it'll be capable of wounding with its counter attack in that case, providing that the attacking creature that the Aglabemu counterattacks is wounded. It's a nice small compound effect to capitalize on wounding deck. I've also been floating an idea for the Aglabemu where perhaps we do some sort of reversed ancestral Aglabemu, essentially a frog with big saber-toothed teeth. You know, it's if you remember the classic cartoons, normally if something went back in time, it had big saber-toothed teeth. You know, probably I'm thinking the Flintstones and things like that. But I would really like to do that with the Aglabemu, maybe like a saber-toothed Aglabemu or primal Aglabemu, something along those lines. Add a few other primal type features to it, and it could make a cool little subspecies. Now another subspecies that comes to mind is actually for the salamander. On the Discord channel, an arcane amphibian was actually floated around, which was a salamander variant, so it had a lot of rune scribings across it, and I thought that was a cool idea as well. and we do like to do our little variants at Shard TCG, so perhaps in the future maybe we'll see 1 or 2 of these designs come to fruition, or maybe it'll be something completely different. You know, if you've got any variant ideas, don't be afraid to post them in the comment section below. You know, I like to have a good read through. I like to steal people. I mean, I like to be influenced by other people's ideas. So, you know, don't be shy. Okay, so our last 2 amphibians of the evening is the Ranotetra and the Ranotetra Tadpole. So the first thing we're going to do is dive into the Ranotetra Tadpole. So what is different about this tadpole compared to the others is that it's actually a 2-shard creature, so it's a bit of a stronger tadpole. Even though it is quite small in size, it packs a real punch. It has the attack Occult Tendril, which is an attack with banishing. So for people who don't know, banishing means that when a destroyed creature would normally go to the graveyard, it is actually sent to the void instead, which means that it cannot be retrieved by your opponent if they have certain spells to do so. And of course, on the theme of banishing, the Ranotetra's effect means that it can actually banish the top card of all opponents' decks when summoned to the field. Now, this can have like a fun compounding effect as well, as you're starting to isolate your opponent and limit their options, you know. So it's great just right from the get-go having this creature out and already inflicting some sort of harm, even though it isn't physical damage like other creatures normally would. And of course, from the Ranotetra Tadpole, we get the Ranotetra itself. Now, the adult version of the Ranotetra is a nice 3-shard, strong amphibian with an effect that will boost its strength. So when this creature is summoned, you may banish 1 creature from your hand. This creature gains strength equal to the shard cost of the banished creature, up to a maximum of 3 strength. If the shard cost of the banished creature is 3 or more, this creature gains Pierce until the end phase. So right from the get-go, it is a very strong creature to get out. So once it's out on the field, it can get the strength boost, which it will keep, but on the turn it is summoned, it is able to use a piercing attack, which means you might be able to take out one of your opponent's creatures and inflict some direct damage on top of that as well. Very dangerous. Both of its actions, Tongue of Nyx and Lacuna Lash, have banishing effects as well, which means that your opponent will be limited with their options with bringing creatures back from the graveyard or using creatures in the graveyard to power themselves up. It depends on their strategy, of course. So the Ranotetra is quite a strong 3-shard creature with a little bit of lockdown facility about it, so very fun to use. I think this was the first card I actually utilized a different colored line rather than just plain black lines, and now with a lot of my more recent cards I've been changing all the colors of the lines. But I just did that for the to give it the ghostly glow, of course. But who knew that I ended up stumbling across something that I absolutely love to do now. And I know I've said this in the past, but I'm going to mention in this video as well. The Ranotetra is based off the Namekian frog from Dragon Ball Z, just when they were on Namek. Just the idea of the antennae and the tail. The rest of it is original, you know, color scheme, the little horn, but I always loved Dragon Ball Z growing up, so it was heavily influenced by that design. Okay everyone, that is all of the amphibians. I wish I had more to give you for set 1, and set 2 I think doesn't have much more, but it is something that we want to address. We want to add more amphibian cards with more interesting effects. We want to help give amphibians their identity, as we feel like they have been a little bit neglected. So like I say, if you have any ideas for amphibian cards in the future, just let us know in the comment section below. And if this is the first time you're watching one of my videos and you haven't hit that subscribe button, I mean, I'd like to thank that you've made it to the end of the video. Hope to see you next time, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Okay, goodbye.